it from government or university. And that's why I can get up here and say the things that I'm saying without hesitation. And that's really one of the values. We get called in to solve some very complicated problems sometimes, both in federal and state government and whatnot. We interact with the public as much as we can. We are designed to do ecological research from primarily the fire ecology angle. This is both in resource production type of management and also from the natural community angle. We have a plant ecology section, a non-game wildlife section, and a game bird section. And that's our three main interests there. But we'll get into a little bit of everything. We have public meetings every year, 3 large ones, and then a number of tours that we do. People come from all over the country to learn about fire ecology and the ecology in general of our region. So that in a nutshell is what we do. We travel a lot too. And we do enjoy giving talks, and I appreciate this opportunity. I suppose what you just said is absolutely true, but you have to go back to the original assumption. How can you possibly have a natural system if you have messed the system up so badly to begin with that you can't expect a natural process to occur? One of my main points is that those fires were not burning natural fuels. Just because a fire starts by a bolt of lightning may mean no more naturalness than a flood that occurs after a man-made dam breaks. If you see, get my drift here. We have synchronized fuels over 2 million acre piece of property by keeping fire out for 200. And then we're saying, well, we're going to let nature have it back. We're not letting nature have a natural system back to operate. We have stored oily rags in the basement, and we've thrown in the torch, or we waited for a lightning bolt to hit. We've done the same thing. We are destroying naturalness. If the fuel isn't natural, then the fire is not natural. And the effects on vegetation, on wild animals, on soils, on every component of Yellowstone is not natural, even though you use that term, natural. There's no difference between a bolt of lightning and a match. All they do is start the process going. How we have done to prepare what that fire is going to do is going to determine its impact. And I just think, honestly, I wish there were biomes so large that fires like the Yellowstone fire was just a tiny ripple, like in the ocean. But we don't have those, and I wish we did. Do you know what the salute? Did you all hear the question? They're going to have this fire with stimulated vegetation growth, nutrient growth, and so that's got to stimulate the wildlife, the grazer populations, and I agree that it's going to. Our government solution is to increase the size of the park. Have you read this? We're about to buy a big circle, a strip around the park. And so it's sort of like having India and buying more land to stick around India. So those people there will be better off. Presently, there are some controls on the bison, which are the biggest problem. They've increased 6-fold since 1960. Have you seen on the television the firing line, the Great Firing Line? the people in the surrounding cities line up along a road and they just go out of sight. And they've got these fully automatic weapons. And these bison are out there chewing on the grass and they don't know what's fixing to happen. But they get blown away. Now, I don't like that. I'm a hunter, okay? And I like the sports part of the whole thing. I'd much rather a guy be out there skulking around and collecting the bison that I want him to shoot and doing it right than I had this firing line business. So we've got two alternatives the way I see it. We either have a good hunting program for cropping those animals and keeping them to or we have got to move a great number of wolves and panthers or mountain lions in there. Now, the first time we move a wolf in there and he grabs somebody's child, you can see that policy, that my idea would suddenly be terrible. That was a bad idea. And it kicked me out of the Park Services I work for them, see. So that might not happen. I would be real surprised if it happens. Now, there are people, by the way, that are sneaking wolves in the park. Greenpeace type folks that are sneaking these wolves in right now as we speak. So we might have them whether we want them or not. But barring that, then I think we need a good hunting program, and I'd rather it be a tastefully done, well-controlled program than the firing line program. Yes.
What sort of fire policy exists depending on intensively harvested lands like the National Forest lands or privately owned paper industry lands, where the timber is harvested intensively? Is there what sort of fire policy?
What are the fire policies in regards to intensively managed timberlands? Well, they vary from county to county just about across this country. A lot of people encourage it because they understand this fire hazard business, and it does increase tree growth of the crop trees, especially the pine trees. And most of them burn about once every 5 years or so during the winter when it's real cool and damp. And it's not quite sufficient for some other purposes like managing for certain wildlife species, but it's better than no fire policy.
Are they also allowing organic matter to accumulate at the rate that is occurring on the natural level?
No, annual winter burning or frequent winter burning actually reduces soil acidity, because what it does is releases the calcium that's tied up in vegetation and puts it back in the soil. So you'll have a pH drop or increase from about 4.5 to 5.6 a lot of times, just from a fire. So that's very important there. I think that's my last question, and I enjoyed the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry. The club members will pass out the programs on your way out. Join us for punch and cookies in the outer lobby. Thank
you. Conversations back in times.
If some of the stuff we said was recorded.
You lost all your savings, right?
Just about ran over Al twice.